What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're going to show you guys my own personal teams that I will be using in this upcoming treasure map versus Luchikaku / Orochi and Kanjuro. So without further ado, let's get into it. No nonsense. Let's go ahead and break down my teams and show you guys exactly how this is going to be working. If you guys haven't seen my preparation video, I highly advise to go ahead and check that out as well for more quote-unquote accessible teams. So in terms of the first one versus S-Bear, we're using the exact same strategy that I talked about in my preparation video. Zoro basically handled this by himself. His effect, doing end of turn damage and stuff, he generates a Wano slot for himself, and the end of turn damage should be enough in order to kill S-Bear. What I would advise is to put a good statistical boosting support on your Zoro. The one that I have here is Sakazuki, which I think is the best int attack boosting one in the game. My one is Limit Break Expanded, level 150, and he grants 15% of his attack, and you know, Sakazuki's got a lot of attack, so it's definitely one of the better ones to put on in the game, just enabling his end of turn damage to do as much damage as possible because of the gimmicks being super annoying, and Zoro just kind of handles it by himself. So not really too much to mention here. The other characters are just here because they give me more points, so that's really nothing really too much to talk about. The end of turn damage from Zoro should clear all of the stages. Okay, so we're moving on to the S-Shark mini-boss. So we're using a very similar strategy that I talked about in the preparation video, utilizing Bon Clay as the captain, using his special ability with the supports that we have. We've got the support of Mr. 1, which removes 4 turns of paralysis. We have the support of Nami on Brook, which removes 1 turn of paralysis. And then we also have the Whale Shark ship with level 12 mods, getting us to 6 turns total paralysis removal. So we will be activating at least one Bon Clay special, which will go ahead and give us matching slots, give us base attack boost, enable us to use his super type, which of course we will be using to get around the chain attack down, gets around the block and empty slots that the enemy gives us. The only thing that we don't get around is the burn, but we actually do get around it because we do have the, what's his name? Kamazo. Kamazo will remove 4 turns of burn, but the really cool supports that we have, we've got one on Usopp, which is Dorian Broggy, removes 3 turns of burn, and then on the Momonosuke, we have a Raizo, which not only removes 3 turns of burn also, but also gives everyone a 1.5 times attack and orb boost, which is a phenomenal support. This support, by the way, I had no idea this guy's support was actually this good. So shout out to this Raizo, full board of 1.5 times attack and 1.5 times orb boost, as well as removing the burn. Really powerful support on this guy. So yeah, this team seems pretty comfortable. The only thing we reach the final stage, activate Bon Clay, use his super type. We can use Kamazo, of course, but the thing is the burn is only 8,000 damage, so realistically, I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. So this should be a pretty comfortable way to get through this fight. The third Battle Rush boss versus S-Snake, once again using a somewhat similar strategy that I talked about in my preparation video, using Gear 5 Luffy because of his EX Super, which enables our normal attacks to bypass enemy defensive effects. We get through the threshold, we get through the damage nullification. The only things that we need to get around are the bind, which of course Gear 5 as a captain resists 10 turns of bind, 10 turns of special reverse, so we don't have to worry about that. So the only gimmick left over is 7 turns of attack down. We can get around it with the Robin, with the support of Frenosuke, will totaling up to removing 7 turns of attack down. Robin is also pretty good because she does give us a 1.75 times attack boost against defense down enemies, and also provides the defense down condition on the opponent because we have a Monkey D. Luffy on the team. Another key thing on this team is we do have a Momonosuke. Momonosuke is basically here just to give us a full board of Wano slots. We can keep those throughout the entire duration of this run through using Zoro to wave clear the first 2 stages, and then we also have Law because he's got a really low cooldown. He has the cooldown potential ability as well to use his special, which will grant a 1.5 times attack boost via the Sakazuki support. We have 1.5 times color affinity to slashes with the Odin support, so this gives a pretty decent amount of damage. I'm not 100% sure if Luffy will be ready when we reach the final boss stage, which is why I have the Brûlé support on him. If he's not ready, I don't think it's the end of the world, but when we get into later nav levels, this team will have to change to apply more damage. And then finally, we have the S-Hawk boss, and we are using pretty much the same strategy that I talked about in my preparation video. We're going to be using a friend captain Nami Karina, start the friend captain as Nami, so that when we reach the final boss stage, we can use the Lucci special, which removes the special bind on our team. Then we activate the friend captain switch effect to become Karina. Karina will then enable us to give cooldown reduction to all of our characters, and then we also have the Kuzan to give further 2 turns of cooldown to all of our characters, enabling our friend captain special special to also be ready. By super switching both captains, we can have one up as Nami, one up as Karina, so we get an attack boost and an orb boost, and with their switch effect, we can generate G slots, which will bypass the enemy's slot attack down. Activating the specials of Nami and Karina will enable us to remove the 6 turns of increased defense. It deals with the special reverse. As we said, we have Lucci to grant us the ability to get around the special bind, and this team will be able to comfortably beat this stage pretty good. The green bull here is just because he's a stat boost, he's just a beat stick really, and we have Vista for wave clearing, of course. Okay, now we get to the more difficult fights. The first one, of course, being Lucci and Kaku. Once again, friend captain is going to be the brand new Legend Stussy, which is very important. So I'm going to break down exactly how I'm going to be using my specials here. So on stage 2, we're going to use the Carrot special to deal with the special reverse. We're then going to use the Crocodile Superclass effect, which will change the block slots into matching. We then use the Crocodile special, which, because we've used the super type or the super class prior to, we get the buffed version of the special, which is the enhanced chain boundary effect. And then we can also use the Vegapunk special if he's available, because remember, one of our characters on our bottom row will be blown away. It doesn't really matter which one gets blown away, it's not really a big deal, but you know, if Vegapunk is available, we would ideally use him here also. And then when we move on to the final stage, we will go ahead and use the Carrot special once again. With the way that Carrot and Wanda actually work, we do enable them to use their stage 1 special again to grant us the ability to deal with the special reverse. We also get an orb boost from them, which is also pretty good. We then also will go ahead and use the Pacifista special, which will deal with the Despair on our team. And then we'll also go ahead and use the Stussy super type, the Stussy special ability, and if Orochi and Kanjuro are available, because they did get blown away, then we can go ahead and do that as well. But either way, this should be pretty comfortable. The bottom row just doesn't matter. Only the characters in the top 2 rows really matter. Of course, you can have ways or other crewmate abilities to resist blowaway if you do want to do that. But the best thing to do is to just run optimal characters that don't really matter if they get blown away or not. So in this team, it's not going to be that big of an issue. Because we have Pacifista and Vegapunk, we do trigger the super type effect of Stussy, which is great. And we are able to trigger the super type of Crocodile because we have the Moby Dick ship, which starts us off at 50% of our HP threshold, which is one of the conditions for Crocodile Superclass special. So I think this team should be okay. I'm not really too worried about the Lucci Kaku fight. I am definitely more concerned about the Intrusion Battle boss, so we'll talk about that now. Okay, so against the Orochi and Kanjuro Intrusion fight, this is such an annoying fight because of stage 2, where you basically have to take 2 turns in order to kill the boss. Very, very frustrating. But let's break down exactly how this team is going to work. Once again, Stussy Friend Captain is vital. Now, in terms of how this is working, we're going to use the Blackbeard special on stage 2, which removes the bind, gives us the chain boundary effect, which is good. We then use the Stussy special, which will grant us the delay, the conditional boost, all of her good stuff. And then we'd also use the Vegapunk special, which grants us an attack boost, which is the one that we would select. Another reason why Vegapunk is so good here is because he does have a crewmate ability that treats bomb slots as beneficial. So the bomb slots that the enemy gives us, they're just going to be treated as matching anyway, and they are locked for 1 turn, so we can have the matching slots over multiple turns. Ideally, we don't want to try and hit goods or greats. We do want to hit perfect, so we don't actually take too much damage here. And then on the second turn, we would just kill. We don't really need to activate any other specials. When we kill stage 2, we will be inflicted with a 50,000 death hit. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be that big of a problem. Both Crocodile and Stussy have 1.35 times HP. We are also using the Guild Tesoro ship, the Grand Tesoro. The only reason why I'm using this is because it grants 1.4 times HP, which is pretty sizable, as well as just being a really, really good ship. That's basically the only reason why I'm using it, is just an HP, like a really good HP boosting ship. You can use whatever you want, but I feel like this is going to help us out a lot. When we move on to the final boss stage, we would use the Stussy super type, which does change all of the block and all the block slots into matching, and then bomb slots, of course, are still going to be beneficial with the Vegapunk special as well. And then we would go ahead and use the Crocodile special. Crocodile will have his cooldown ready to go because of the Mr. 3 support giving him cooldown on the 3rd stage of the fight, and then his special does give -1 turn of cooldown to Driven and Cerebral characters, so it enables other characters to be ready. And then, of course, we would also go ahead and use Pacifista, which allows us to tank the death hit on the final stage. It's really good though, because Crocodile will also grant us like an attack boost, chain boundary, all that good stuff. But we also have Pacifista, which gives us an orb boost. So we'll have an orb boost, and we'll have an attack boost ready to go for the final stage. So I'm pretty sure this should be pretty good. I'm not really too concerned about it too much, but I guess we'll see what happens. But I think that this should be a relatively okay team in order to get through this fight. So that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you did enjoy it, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.